Doing well.
Live on YouTube.
Gonna go live on YouTube. Okay, ready?
Volume is good on TikTok.
We live on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are live on YouTube. We're also here on TikTok. Welcome, everybody. If you guys are on TikTok, you're having any trouble hearing me, you can switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy. And welcome, everybody, tuning in here through YouTube. We have Bethany, Jill Marie, Christina Lopez, Vanessa Dempsey. Welcome, you guys. Going to give this a second for a few more people to tune in. Elaine. Okay, good. We are going to be here for quite a while. This is probably the longest show we do all year. I guarantee it. But it's super exciting. So this is a great time for you guys. If you need to take a bathroom break, if you want to go grab your coffee, your tea, your glass of wine, your hot chocolate, now would be the time, because once we get rolling, we're not going to stop. Christina and I are machines. We are going to get through general, visions and astrology that we have for everyone, for the collective for 2022. And then we'll be talking about each astrological sign. Each zodiac sign will be giving you your update for 2022. All right, looks like we have a few more. Kenna, Marianne, Tamara, good to see you guys. Again, if you guys are tuning in through TikTok and you're having any kind of trouble, you may want to switch over here to YouTube at Ask Ivy. I am going to ask everybody at this time to give this video a thumbs up, follow, or subscribe. So everyone here also on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciated. If you guys want to check out the memberships, if you want to join to become a member and receive all kinds of different things like weekly spirit messages, your monthly horoscopes, behind the scenes Ask Ivy shows, you can hit that join button and look at the 3 different tiers of memberships here on YouTube. Check it out. I did also want to announce before we go ahead and get started that I'm switching things up a little bit. So I'm reducing the Ask Ivies. I'll be doing 2 Ask Ivies per month. That's where I take your personal questions and I deliver out messages to the audience from Spirit. I will be doing 1 with members only behind the scenes, like I have been for several months. So now there will be 2. That'll be every other week for the Ask Ivy shows. And also I'm reducing down to 2 of the free mini classes. I've been putting out 1 to 2 free mini classes per week since the pandemic hit. And we're going to be changing that a bit, reducing on that. However, if you guys here on YouTube want to hit that bell, that alert button, I will be posting edited, old, revised classes 1 per week. So that'll actually be an addition. All right. How are we doing here on TikTok?
Good.
We're okay? All right. All right. So Paul, my adorable producer, will be handling things here. We're going to just wait for him to get this screen adjusted, and then we're going to be moving on. All right. Perfect. So welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak. I own a school called Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally in everything ranging from psychic mediumship to Reiki, tarot, astrology, numerology, you name it, we do it. So we hope to see you there for classes, Ivy League Psychic Academy.com. I also do readings, parties, events, and I work internationally. So you need to book your own reading, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. I have with me today my favorite astrologer in the world, Christina DelRey. How are you, Christina?
Great. Glad to be here. I was just thinking the first show we did was on Main Street so long ago.
Wow. Okay. So Christina and I do this every year. We do our annual What to Expect show. So today is What to Expect in 2022. We're going to give some general predictions for the collective. And then we'll be breaking down each zodiac sign. And if you want to book Christina for an astrology chart, which I highly recommend, I meet with her. I want to say once or twice a year. We do work charts. So if you run your own business, if you're curious about your money, and then I've done a countless, synergy and personal charts with her over the years, and she is spot on accurate. So Christina, how would they book with you?
They can message me probably through Facebook Messenger or on my Google account.
Can I help you?
Really, my YouTube video, my YouTube channel, subscribe there, and the information should be there.
And everyone on Ivy's channel, her link is in the description as well. If you want to click that.
Okay, so Christina's link is in the description, okay, of this video. All right, perfect. So, what to expect in 2022. Some aspects of this, I want to take a big nap, and other things I'm excited about. The truth of the matter is I feel really good about the whole thing. Even though I do feel like it's a cleansing process, I feel that it's necessary, and it's been a long time coming. So I'm not going to shed any tears, over some of this, but I definitely feel that it's going to be a bit of a wake-up call personally. Christina, how do we want to get started? Do you want to do what we do basically every year, have me go first and then follow up with the astrology?
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Okay, and we wanted to start with collective, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So before we get into each of the zodiac signs, we are going to talk about what we see happening in a general way, okay, for the entire world. What I'm seeing for 2022 is sort of an increase of what we've seen starting since around 2019, and a lot of what we saw kind of come to a head in 2021. So I'm seeing more incidents where the racial injustice issues worldwide, but especially here in America, are going to be coming to a head. I see a lot more exposure going on with that. I see more exposure in regards to regimes, police brutality, corruption in government, political systems, and even more exposure and breakdown of those systems with like the Catholic Church, Christianity, as well as the educational issues that we have, especially here in America. But again, I feel like this is going to be an international theme. So that's not entirely unlike some of the things that I had predicted for 2021, right? Which was a huge prediction on the collective coming together, community-oriented mentalities, people coming together in revolution to fight, the head becoming the tail and the tail becoming the head, as well as transfer of wealth. So the wealthy start to lose it in 2021, and those at the bottom start to gain. I think we're going to see a continuation of that, but I think we are going to see some bigger breakthroughs in that, where it's happening on a larger scale, and those that attain the wealth are able to sustain it and build upon it, like expand out. I think this is going to, again, happen a lot in America, but I think it's going to expand out internationally from what can be built. And I feel that the exposure of the systems, the police brutality, the corruption in government, the corruption through the church, I feel that the exposure of all of these systems, the breakdown is going to cause for many, many more meltdowns. So I think that people who don't want to lose, whether it be white privilege or our capitalistic society, or, you know, those toxic systems that they've been able to profit from. I think we're going to see more mental breakdowns with these people. I think it's going to look a lot like children having temper tantrums, and they're basically going to continue to fall to the wayside as they are now, as minorities and the marginalized take over. Christina, what do you see?
I agree with much of that. So usually when we look at themes in astrology, we'll look to where the nodes are. And the nodes are shifting on January 19th, and they're moving into the North Node will be in Taurus, and the South Node will be in Scorpio. So this is interesting because it really does speak of shaking foundations still. And we've had our foundations shaken, especially 2020, 2021. You know, we kind of had to expose, and we had to shake up what was, you know, the status quo, and kind of come into a new life, a new way of being. And this is going to continue. It's like you can't really look at 2022 without looking at 2021 and 2020 and 2019. It's almost like they build off of each other. But when the nodes shift, the North Node goes into Taurus, and Venus rules Taurus. There's a big focus on Venus this year because it retrogrades. So we are forcing transformation. Uranus is still in Taurus, and I think that might have been the first year that we did this was when 2018, I think, when Uranus went into Taurus, and it is going to be new values. You know, we're reevaluating our values as a society, I think, and we're looking at power in a different way. South Node in Scorpio is really going to speak to shadow work, kind of what Reverend Ivy was saying. We need to let go of the toxicity. We need to purge what isn't working. Anything that has to do with, you know, not being fair, that has to go. There has to be action towards, you know, a new way of valuing life, or a new way of, you know, valuing relationships, money. We're talking, you know, and money does play a big kind of role in this. And I know you were talking about the shift of money, but I definitely think so. I think it's almost like with the South Node in Scorpio, it's almost like the karma catches up somewhat to perhaps people who are abusing money. And, you know, and, you know, the karma is kind of there. So we may see some big power plays going on, like you were saying. And, you know, like with mental health as well, we need to, you know, that is something that we need to let go of the way that we've been handling it. And we need to value mental health. We need to put focus on it, positive focus on it, and consider it our day-to-day wellness. You know, we have to value our mental health. So, you know, many of those things that you're talking about definitely come into play. Venus retrograde is going to make us, you know, question our values as a society, but it's also going to make us question it individually as well. And the value, how we value things as opposed to people too. So that's an interesting dynamic as well.
I love that. And when we're talking about money, like, yes, we're talking about money, but we're really, we're also talking about resources, any kind of resource, you know? So when we're talking about a shifting of like money from the wealthy to the poor, for example, we're talking about anything that could be used as a resource. All right. I just, before we go ahead and get started, all right, we are going to invite everybody one more time, for all the people who are tuning in here late, to join us. This is our What to Expect in 2022 annual show, where myself, Ivy Rivera, psychic medium, and astrologer Christina DelRey are going to be breaking down each zodiac sign one at a time. This will get published after, so if you guys miss it, you can go back and listen for your zodiac sign. Donations are appreciated. Please hit that subscribe or follow button and give this video a thumbs up right now. All right, awesome. You ready, Christina?
Yes, I think I forgot to mention too, I think that women are going to come into power more. I just wanted to make that, it's kind of mess up everybody's like security and stability. But I think that that's the kind of shakeup we need too.
Yeah. And we saw a lot of this in 2021 too, with minorities of, not just even skin color, women also marginalized. We started to, I feel, really see that shift coming in, but we haven't gotten the full dose of what's coming. I can't wait to watch this. So that's awesome. I look forward to it. All right. So we are going to start, like always, with Aries for 2022. What do I see coming up with you, Aries? The first thing that I'm seeing the first month of the year, so of course we're talking January, and then I feel kind of trickling into February a bit, but getting put to rest more in March is you having your hands on a lot of different situations. So Aries, you may be feeling as though, you're in the driver's seat, you're in control, things are the way that you want them to be, but it's almost like the power is being removed from you. And so you're not able to keep cultivating and running everything the way that you want to. Now, it's not to say necessarily that you're entering into a stagnant period. It feels like it's a reevaluation period. It's a time for you to pull back and understand more about how the universe works. That yes, you do have free will, but some things are also destiny charted, and you're not in control of everything. And it's going to be a time for you to expel what is no longer working. We would say cleanse out and release what no longer serves you. And take a more honest approach as you go forward and build for the next 6 months after that, this sort of different lifestyle for yourself. Many of you may be looking at a residency change the last 6 months of the year. So what am I talking? June, July, August, September, October, November, December. No. So I want to say, the last 6 months of the year. We could be looking at changes to the home. We could be looking at renovations. We could be looking at a flat out relocation. We may also be looking at the purchase of real estate and using this to somehow better yourselves. Now, some of you may feel that this is being removed from you or taken from you, and that may be a sign that there were changes you should have made prior but didn't. Nonetheless, it is a good move to have this transition. Love seems to really be coming up. I want to say the third and the fourth month of the year, and then the last, I want to say 2 to 3 months of the year. So in regards to love, earlier in the year, it's more about people that you love. It's like family, it's kids, it's friends. It's not necessarily just lovers. It's about looking at those relationships, appreciating them, giving more time and energy to them, caretaking even for some of you over like elderly parents and things like this. As we look more toward the end of the year, it feels more romantic, more passionate, and it feels like you may, even with a current love partner, move up a level or two there. Okay, Christina, what do you have?
So the big thing for Aries, I think, is going to be in May to October, Jupiter is going to go into Aries. So that's going to kind of make them, it's blessings in your sign, but it's also like making you a little more impulsive and adventurous and risk taking. So there is going to have to be some caution there, but I think that you will be seen on a grander scale in your life. Also, Venus retrogrades, and that happens until January, but there are changes in love all the way up until March. And, there will be some kind of significant change in either power dynamics in a relationship, or there'll be some kind of transition. But the focus for Aries, I think this year, the big focus is money. I think how you earn money and how you value your money and how you invest your money is going to change. And you're going to have to get rid of any bad habits you had with your money and kind of change up how you're investing your money. Also, too, if you have any traumas or deep psychological stuff, that's all going to need to be dealt with and purged. And I think intimacy and sex actually is going to kind of, I think anything attached to that that's not working for you is going to go. And I think you're going to be intimate in a new and more healthy way with your relationships. Mars, your planet does go retrograde October in Gemini until January 2023. This is going to be maybe like a frustration for you because Aries just kind of goes, it does. And when Mars is retrograde, the action becomes more internal. So you're going to be summoning your internal power. Action might be difficult, so you have to be more strategic. You have to look at the power and the reasons for what you do. Aries has a sort of bad reputation for being a bit impulsive. So it's almost like you have to turn in on yourself and think about what is motivating you to take action and make sure that those are aligned with your values. And I should say too, the eclipses, and this is for everybody, you can get exact dates on my YouTube channel in my yearly forecasts, but April 30th, May 16th, October 25th, and November, we have eclipses all in the area of money, investing, self-worth. It's another area that Aries is going to be really working on. You'll see your resources change this year, big time.
I love hearing you confirm that. Because that, like, as you started talking too, I was feeling that again, like around June, then you said like May, all the way through October. I saw them being able to deposit money, which can mean like investments. That's very exciting. That they're going to have these opportunities, but it feels like a big grow up year for Aries.
It is.
Big maturity.
Change.
Yeah, big deal. All right, you guys. So Aries, have a fantastic year. Let's move on. Can I get a coffee? Thank you. Okay, let's move on to Taurus. Tauruses, what is going on with you this year? Love, love, love. I feel love in the beginning. I also feel around February, possibly you having to reevaluate what love is. So you may be sort of rushing, fools rush in to partnership, possibly even locking things down and making it a committed relationship. Or investing a lot and not being able to necessarily just pull away when and if you decide that you want to. So this could be happening with all relationships, but in particular, whether it be roommates, it be someone you merge finances with, or it be a love affair where a lot comes together at once, you may want to take that a little bit slower and try to not get head over heels, allow yourself to lose your head to your heart. And my feeling with it is that you're supposed to be having these emotions. You're supposed to be having these experiences. It's great to feel that level of passion. It's also important for you to be a little bit more detached and evaluate relationship dynamics like that in a bigger way than you ever have in the past. So to say, wow, this is pretty incredible, but what does it mean? What is the bigger picture? What's the lesson? What am I supposed to use it for? And just because it's dynamic, maybe it doesn't necessarily mean it's supposed to either last forever or be as big a role in my life as I originally felt. Okay. So this is sort of like logic and reality versus emotion and heart. Follow your gut. Your gut never lies. Energy never lies. That would be wise for that period of time. Then between, I want to say it looks like June, it looks like July, maybe even around August for you guys. For some of you, thank you so much. Then we're looking more at work. So I feel like you're looking at career. I feel like you're looking at career development. I also feel like you're looking at academia. You're looking at whether or not you have degrees, need to get certified. You want to research or do additional training. You're like a sponge taking in information. And for some of you, you're evaluating what tools and training and education you have from your past, how you can use all of this as leverage going forward. And I feel that if you do it carefully, dotting your I's, crossing your T's. You're really going to start to feel some payout from that around like November and December. I also see around the month of October, you shedding something, tossing it overboard. So out with the old in order to make room for the new. This could be a relationship. This could be a vehicle. This could end up being something that you have close in your life on a regular basis. Okay. A relationship, a situation, or an object, but you're going to have to get rid of something you would prefer maybe not to. And then in December, I see you behind the wheel of sort of like a sports car, which is symbolic of you getting behind the wheel in life, you being in a position of power. You could see an increase in your finances, leadership, but definitely feeling in general that you are really dictating that your life is going to go in a more positive direction than what it was. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that's amazing, actually, because
Christina and I never cheat. So
I
we
know.
never get together. We
No,
don't
we
have that
don't.
much interest, okay? Either. All these other zodiac signs that
more
are
time. Yeah.
No, but we don't cheat. This just happens.
So, the North Node for Taurus, it's in their sign. So they are kind of becoming a new person. I feel like they're stepping into themselves. They're getting out of their comfort zone, and they are becoming more independent. And like you said, relationship piece almost seems like they're letting go of something, and whether it be a cycle or a person, or you know what I mean, but like it's almost like they have to step into who they are more in that independence, and not be controlled by anybody. So there is, even if you're still with the same person, it's almost like you let go of a cycle that you had with that person, and the way that you do relationships. You're doing yourself now. So there's big lessons all year long. Like I said, the eclipses fall in your sign and your opposite sign. When that happens, it's a huge year for you. So big time stuff in identity and relationships. And also too, it's amazing because the academia part, that's where Venus is retrograding. So I really feel like this is a reevaluation of your philosophies, a reevaluation of your, if you do have something in academia, if you decide to go back to school, or, you're going to see, what value does this have in my life? You're reevaluating it. Where am I getting my self-worth derived from here? Like this all has to do with you and others and your value system. Jupiter is going to go into Pisces at the end of December of this year. So it's going to start next year off with Jupiter there. So it is almost like if you wanted to get the word out via social media, or if you wanted to be part of group endeavors, this would be blessings in that area. Your hopes, wishes, and dreams, will be blessed here. Even, making at some point, making money, Jupiter there would be good. Once Neptune comes together with Jupiter, though, I would be cautious about the money, and that happens like in April. So just be cautious about, not a time for gambling or anything like that. But Mars does go retrograde in your second house. So action on, you have to be more strategic with your action with money. You have to really think about what is driving your actions when it comes to money, when it comes to values. Where are you getting your self-worth from? What are you doing to foster self-worth in yourself? How are you making money, and how can you be doing it better? How can you be doing it more strategically? These are all themes that are going to come up, and that Mars doesn't retrograde until October. And there's also an eclipse in October. So, and I know Ivy mentioned October. So it does seem like that is a highlight year for you, or a highlight month for you this year. And even that, I think you said releasing in October.
I did, because it was nothing specific. It was either like an object, a situation, a person, but releasing something that you really kind of don't want to let go of, even though you have to.
Yeah, because I'm looking right now, and it's a solar eclipse, but it's a south node solar eclipse. So when you have the south node involved, it's usually a purge and a beginning. So, you know, it's like one can't happen without the other when you have it like that. So, yeah. And I think that, you know, this Jupiter in your 11th house will help friendships. It will help, you know, you belong to groups, and this is going to help your independence too.
All right, quite a year. Taurus is out with the old and with the new.
And, you know, I should mention too, we have had the Saturn Uranus square, you know, last year, all year. Well, this year coming up, we're going to have it still in orb, but the 3 times will have already met. So that was the big shakeups this year. But the people who felt it the most were the fixed signs: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. So Taurus, you're still getting used to a new life, a new way of being. So that is still there too. Lots of shakeups with Taurus. They're probably affected the most this year.
Wow, intense. All right, but good. That's what we want. We want change. We want movement. We want evolution. I forgot to tell you guys earlier, if you have questions, comments, keep them coming. Keep them coming at the end. If we're not here till 3 o'clock in the morning, Christina and I may be able to touch on some of your questions. Okay, so feel free to post them, and Paul will be taking them over here for us. All right, let's move on to Gemini. I have Gemini, like sun, moon, rising, like a whole bunch of houses for myself. So I got to keep myself out of it. Let's see what is going on for Geminis for this upcoming year. So the first 3 to 4 months of the year, I see a hand coming in and pulling your voice out, almost like Ariel. Okay, in The Little Mermaid. What does that mean? That means that the universe is requiring your voice. You are clearing your throat chakra. You are also in some ways feeling debilitated, like maybe your voice isn't being heard in exactly the way that you want it to be, or you're having to find a new means of communication. For some of you, this could mean you're shifting more into technology, you're shifting off of technology, you're shifting around into different platforms to get your word out. Maybe you're spending less time on social media, but you're publishing something. Whatever it is, this is going to hit us all in different areas. So for some, it's more on kind of a personal note, the way you communicate with others. For other people, it's going to be about, you know, your career and how you get out there. I think that ultimately we're not seeing the payout on it. Like, you reap what you sow. Okay, it's time to evaluate the karma on this until the 5th and the 6th month of the year. So what that's hitting May and June. You're going to start to see the results of any changes that you made. So that is no time to mope in the beginning of the year, to feel defeated with it. Try to roll with the passion and the fluidity behind that type of change. And it feels like around May, your ears are ringing. So you seem to be really, really in tuned energetically, intuitively, spiritually. Love may be coming in for some of you, a new lover, soulmate. Some of you may be moving up in your love partnerships, but others may be allowing for a relationship that isn't working to fall to the wayside, to finally release it and let it go. We may also be having a lot of past life resolution during that time. So looking at toxic dynamics, habits that aren't really serving us from this life, from our past, and even previous lives. And so that's a time to definitely release, evaluate, and rebuild going forward. The 9th month really stands out the most. And that to me feels like a time for you to, again, speak your truth, but you're being heard more, you're being recognized. People are evaluating what you do, and people in positions of power. So this could be banks, institutions, employers. This could be other people who want to partner with you. This could be people who've accomplished what you want to accomplish, but they're coming and they're recognizing you. So you may be looking at big promotion then. Around the 10th month, so we're talking October, we're looking at more peace in the residency. So this could be moving. This could be finally feeling like you're living where you want to be living. Your residency feels safe and secure, and home feels like a haven. For those of you that have been looking at like buying property and getting into that line of work, that may also be an opportunity for you, whether it's like an Airbnb, a rental space, whatever, a second home. That could be happening then. And toward the end of the year, I want to say November and December, we're looking at full steam ahead. You're like a train. You are focused. You are setting really strong boundaries with situations and other people that are kind of trying to come in and drain your energy. You're saying, nope, absolutely not. You need to stay focused and get to where you need to be to start the following year off right. And so it's going to be a lot of tuning out and tuning in to get the job done.
Yeah, I see for Gemini. So Gemini, the North Node is in the 12th house, and the South Node is in the 6th house. So purging of daily habits that are toxic. This could have to do with your health as well. You could, decide to finally kick the bad habit. What you're going towards is, in a positive manifestation, this is actually karmic endings. It can be a new relationship with the spiritual. This can be, this is like merging with the divine. Because Taurus is here, Uranus is here, still connecting, loosely with your 9th house. This can involve technology. If you are in a spiritual business, this is great for that. If you do technology or behind the scenes, this is also very good for that. One thing about Gemini this year is that Mars retrogrades in your sign, Gemini. I'm sure that Ivy is going to love that. No, not at all. It's going to be more like, like Gemini wants to act, and Mars is going to say, no, wait a minute. You gotta think about how you're acting and how you're being strategic. So this is happening October 30th to January 12th. And it's in your first house, so it's how people see you. So you might be questioning your actions, and actions might not come. Things might feel like they're stuck, and that's never a nice feeling. But you have to kind of go internal and see where your real power is, and how your actions are going to empower you. So that should be an interesting lesson. Jupiter in Aries, I think that is going to be, so that happens May to October. I think that this is going to be really nice for you, actually, because this is going to grow social media presence. This is going to grow groups that you belong to, hopes, wishes, and dreams, almost like a fulfillment type energy. So I feel like, friendships, acquaintances, these are all things that, that belong in this house. And I feel like that would be blessed for Gemini. And don't forget, Jupiter's still hanging out in your 10th house. So the work situation, decent, definitely decent. And if you are in a Neptunian, kind of work, so that would be like anything artistic, anything spiritual, anything creative, it's almost like extra blessings there. And so that part looks really good. I have to say, I think I see relationship stuff going on for Gemini. I think that you are, the beginning of the year, you're reevaluating and deciding what you want. How have you approached relationships in the past, and intimacy and sex? And what do you not want anymore from that? Like, how do you want to merge money? How do you want to merge with another person? And, is that contributing to my, to my mental health? Is it not? And it feels like, there's going to be definitely relationships and more in an intimate manner happening for, so this could be like a year of really good sex for Gemini. But it's like you're in a reevaluation stage, and you're reflecting on what needs to be purged. Do I really want this? The way things were always done, how should I do them differently now? There's I feel like there's this whole new vibe in love for Gemini. So that should be interesting. And yeah, the eclipses are definitely going to have to do with work and possibly, letting go of any thoughts, like any mental processes that are no longer serving you. And I think that's what I got
That makes a lot of sense.
Gemini.
Ooh, Geminis. All right.
And I think
because a lot of times that's all we're going to be able to do. Is kind of how it feels. Just kind of holding on, letting stuff, pan out and examining why.
Yeah, and I think like moving the money around too, like, deciding where that money belongs, where it's going to work best too.
Very smart. All right. So my fellow Geminis, have a great year. Let's move on to Cancer. All right, Cancers, what is going on? There seems to be the first couple months of the year, possibly even leading into March. And I sort of see a conclusion with this the last week of March. There seems to be a whispering in your ear, a lot of intuitive intelligence kicking in, a lot of higher mind, psychic ability, clairvoyance, prophecy. You seem to know in your bones and know in your gut what direction you're supposed to be taking things in. And this is going to hit all areas. So this is about reevaluating relationships, what you're supposed to keep, what needs to go, where you're going to be setting boundaries, how to handle different relationships. This also seems to be in regards to your living situation, your day-to-day life, and your money, your work. So I think what you're doing during that time is almost, in a way, going through a testing period where you will reap what you sow, and the karma is going to be dependent upon how well you followed your gut intuition instead of your emotion or your logical thinking. So the doors seems to swing wide open around the end of that third month going into the fourth. So this is about opportunities being opened up, and you can sort of cross over into this brand new life for yourself. For those of you that do well with it, I feel the sun really shining on your face. That's reprieve. That's feeling like finally things are starting to make some sense. You can relax. You can enjoy life. I see you dancing the fifth month, which is May. I see you dancing, and I see you celebrating your life and celebrating the fact that you have a sense of inner peace. Gratitude is coming to you more easily, but sometimes I see you dancing with someone else. This could also be a new love partner coming in or an increase in romance. We could see a current relationship move up a level, turn into an engagement, marriage, something committed or long-term. For those of you looking to have children, that may be a time where you can expand your family, adoption, pregnancy, things like that. Then I'm looking more at the 8th month, and we're really talking about the money coming in. Where is it coming from? I almost feel like it's a job promotion. For those of you that are married, it may even be coming through a partner, okay, or some type of inheritance, but I see money coming in and it feels like it's falling from the sky. So you may feel like you're being blessed with increased income, but come like the 10th month of the year, the 11th, the 12th, you have to figure out how you're going to invest. What are you going to do with it? So I see you taking your resources, and this isn't just about money. This is about any skill set that you have, any progress you've made from your past, how you could use it as leverage or as an investment going forward, and you sort of end the year moving into these new investments to see how they're going to turn out. It doesn't feel like it's a time where you can really just sort of ignore that, hoard it, sit still, pack it away into savings. It's got to go back out into something bigger. Okay.
Oh, I love that. I'm a Cancer rising.
I'm a Cancer cusp sun, so we should have good
you are.
This is good.
I like that. So for Cancer, the Nodal Shift and the eclipses are going to fall in the 11th and the 5th. So we are talking about letting go of romantic partnerships or letting go of cycles in romantic partnerships if you are still with the same partner. And also on top of that, Venus is retrograde in the 7th house. So we're talking about committed partnerships here, reevaluating, like Ivy said, long-term relationships, because 7th house is long-term And it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, can be a business partner too, but it's almost like you're reevaluating who is worth it and, you know, who isn't. And maybe even like committing to that, maybe around, I would say, March. And you're letting go of any toxicity, you know, any bad habits that you had in relationships in the past. It's almost like you're starting brand new. The North Node being in the 11th, along with Uranus, you know, that does speak to technology, getting out the message. That does speak to groups that you belong to. Maybe hanging out with people that you've never hung out with before. A totally new friendship group, you know what I mean? But like one that feeds your soul type of situation. And I think with Neptune and Jupiter coming together in the 9th house for you guys, and that happens April 12th. I think that could be extremely psychic and spiritual. I'm kind of looking forward to that myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with psychic and spiritual, you have to be careful because it's a fine line to like delusion. You know, you kind of have to be careful. But that is going to be an interesting situation. Some people in the collective might really look for teachers. And this is in a teaching area of your chart. So you never know, you might become the teacher that, you know, that comes out on social media. This is just one way this could come out. This could also be something like very creative, you know, that you're putting out to groups that you belong to. Those are just some ways that this could manifest. But it does look, you know, and 11th is also hopes, wishes, and dreams. So it's almost like you could make progress, or you could even change your whole idea of what you wanted and now decide you want something different. Mars retrograde in the 12th house, kind of difficult because, and this happens October to January of next year. It's like the way you're thinking almost has to be, you know, like on how you take action on your thoughts and karmic endings, taking action on karmic endings as well. So that when Mars goes into your first house, you're kind of ready to take action on who you are. So it's kind of reflecting on the past. I think it's going to be reflecting on how you interact with spirit as well. But the 12th house tends to be the unconscious. So, you know, you might not be 100% aware of it. So I would stay tuned to, like, you know, Ivy's horoscopes and my horoscopes just to get, you know, like to kind of see what that's all about in the upcoming year. I think that's all I got for them.
Okay. Fantastic. Cancers, have a great year. Here we go. I see Leo's in the comments section. Leo's everywhere. Christina's a Leo. All right, Here we go. On to Leo's. Leo's, what is going on with you in 2022? Well, I'm seeing it broken up a little bit different than I did for everybody else. We've got the whole first 6 months in one chunk instead of 3 months and 3 months. It's like a theme going on. The first 6 months of the year seems to be about you gaining strength. It's about you gaining power, you gaining control, you taking back what has been lost, you taking back what is rightfully yours, and you taking more of what you deserve and have earned that you haven't previously claimed for whatever reasons that's happened. It looks like you're them grabbing all that up and letting it fall into place. And so it's almost like the universe is, spirit is a gentleman. The universe has a way of giving us time, okay, to make big changes and moves, and then allow for things to pan out the way that they need to without slamming us with too much more, so that it can happen in a positive way. And I think if you're wise, you're going to be really paying attention to all of these changes the first 6 months of the year and trying to figure out how you want to use that, acknowledging the changes, not allowing yourself to feel rattled by any of them, coming from a place of faith and love and positivity instead of ego and fear and control. Okay. And as this unfolds, it seems like it's rolling out into the 7th, 8th month of the year, possibly even the 9th, where I see an increase in love. I'll get to that in a minute. But it seems almost like you're really branching out into the world. So not that you're going to be in hiding the first 6 months, but it's almost like bread that's baking. It's not ready to come out. It's not ready to be served. It's not ready to be eaten yet, right? And bread is all about prosperity. And so when we hit that 7th, 8th month, it's almost like, mother hen slicing the bread, serving it to the chicks, which is going to represent your children, your community, other people around you. You could be getting out networking more. You could be finding that new opportunities are also coming to you. So we could be looking at more promotions and upgrades within, again, your career, community, and relationships. Then in the 9th month, I'm seeing an increase in love. This to me feels like soulmate connection. This to me feels like there's an actual contract there between you and that person, and chords. So you'll be meeting someone. Does it have to be romantic? Not necessarily. Soulmates could be anyone, but for many of you, it does feel that way. And it feels like you're going to be building with this person, because a soulmate contract is about teamwork. It's about working together on different areas in life. So this seems to be supportive emotionally, mentally, financially, and you may be looking at more travel after that. So the 10th month going into the 11th month, and even looking into the upcoming year, you seem to be looking at maybe a second property that you want to buy, or getting closer to the waterfront, or like, I want to move down south, or I want to, travel to more tropical places and things like this. And you seem to be putting the money away for it, planning with a matter of fact kind of an attitude. I also see some justice coming in toward the end of the year. So if there had been a legal situation, if someone had, done you wrong, if you were waiting on some kind of justice or turnout to work in your favor, there are going to be some truths revealed in that, like 11th and 12th month, especially in December, in the middle and toward the end, where this person, the situation will be exposed, and you'll be seeing some good karma and justice coming in. Okay, this could be affecting your group of people, not just you. Okay, so that's positive.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So the nodal shift and the eclipses for us, our home area and our career area. So the south node being in the 4th house, I think this speaks to letting things go on a home front, ending a cycle in the home, or letting go of real estate and property, something tied to property. Or if it's not that, I really feel like this is letting go, releasing generational curses too, because Scorpio has to do with, the shadow, and the 4th house is, our ancestors. So it's almost like, maybe we are purging something that our ancestors did, but we are making headway in that area, and getting rid of those curses, paving a new direction. And the North Node being in our 10th house, it really has to do with career advancement. It has to, just like Ivy was saying, promotions, things like that. Probably spending a whole lot of time doing work stuff. If you are in technology, if you're in an area of work or career that has to do with technology, that is very, now is a good time to utilize that. You'll probably, even if you don't use technology, you'll probably definitely be using technology. Upcoming, learning new technologies. So real important to stay open to learning new technologies. Venus is retrograde in our 6th house. So Venus didn't go retrograde yet until the end of the week, but it carries into 2023. And it's been very interesting in this area of the chart. I feel like we are reevaluating not only our health, but also, I don't know, like how our rituals and our love relationships kind of mix together too. So you'll be reevaluating your relationships, but also kind of like your relationship with your body and your work habits or your day-to-day habits. So very interesting. Jupiter in the 8th house. So Jupiter is moving into Pisces. Jupiter in the 8th house kind of speaks to the wealth that Ivy was talking about and putting money away. Definitely not energy especially when Neptune meets Jupiter, which, we said happens like in April. So just be careful about like taking a chance with money. I'm seeing more of it like being put away, like you were saying. Maybe, like investing it is one thing, but, like gambling it or like taking a chance on stocks or something is probably not the best use of this. But it does seem to be that prosperity is there. And Mars does go retrograde in the 11th. So rethinking how you're acting in groups, or where your power is, how you can take action in groups or on social media to kind of manifest your hopes, wishes, and dreams. You're going to kind of be looking at your power connected to that. So I hope it's a good year for us.
It feels great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you guys. All right. Super new beginnings. It's funny when you have a year and it's like you look back, you're like, my life does not even look like the same life.
Oh, yeah.
That's wild. All right, let's move on to Virgos. What is coming up for you in 2022? The very first thing that I'm seeing, I want to say I'm in January, February, but especially February, this seems to be sort of putting pressure on you. I see you typing a lot. This is going to be about communicating. This is going to be about work. This is going to be about information in, information out. And it feels like you are scripting and really dictating what direction you're going to have your life going in. It also feels like there are eyes on you. So I want to say that February, March, this is a great time for you to really bring your A game to what you're doing. If you run a business, for example, make sure you are presentable. Make sure you are being presented. Make sure you are out there in the eye of the public. If you have a boss, make sure that you're really showing up to work and doing what you need to be doing. So there's sort of an evaluation going on, and that will determine, especially hitting more toward like June and July, how well you're going to be doing later on in the year. Now, for some of you, this may also be hitting in love life or relationships. So if you do find that you're in a relationship and you kind of take the lazy approach, this isn't going to work much longer. And some of you may be evaluating like a lazier partner and seeing whether or not that's something that you want to keep around. So it's all about pulling your weight. There also seems to be a process hitting February, March, April. So I feel like I'm looking at around April where you're being very honest about what it is that you want to be doing, where you've been spending your time in regards to career and work, training and education, even for some of you where you live. Like I live in a place and I feel like it offers me absolutely nothing. I wonder if I should just pack up and go. You seem to be taking a serious look and this honest approach that may sort of light a fire under you and motivate you to get into what it is that you're really supposed to be doing. So we could say that you're evaluating your life contract in a deeper way than you have in the past. This is also a time, this comes up again in the 7th month, which is going to be July, where you're shedding old programming. So those of you that have been, under the boot of the capitalism or the patriarchy, right? You're going to be looking more at feminism. You're going to be looking at the divine feminine. You're going to be looking at how to deprogram the damage that's been done to you that has made you feel like you are someone other than yourself, just to fit into that status quo, and shedding that. It seems like you're coming into an intimate relationship. I don't know that I'm looking at sexual intimacy as much as I am looking at emotional, mental intimacy, communication, and exchange. You may be hitting new levels of intimacy than you ever have in the past. And with Virgos, this may require that you're a little less judgmental of the other person. Don't scare them off with your mallet and your judgment and your, take it easy. You're going to be learning how to, I want to say, take it easy on somebody else who does bring a lot of value into your life and can support you in a substantial way. And you're going to say, you know what, I can overlook all their craziness and sloppiness, and that's life. And I feel great about that. And I'm going to go ahead and let this person in. And it seems like more toward the end of the year, like around December, that's kind of blooming into this beautiful new garden for you. So we could be looking for some of you at even merging those two worlds. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that love gets really interesting with Virgo this
Hmm.
year. I feel like there is a sexual relationship, but I feel like there also has the potential of becoming a long-term partnership as well, because Jupiter is in the seventh, and with Venus retrograde in the fifth, I feel like there could be a lot of contemplation about someone, and whether they're worth it or not. And I think that Virgo might decide that they are worth it. So I think it's going to be an exciting year for Virgo as far as love goes. As far as work goes, though, exactly what Ivy was saying about, like, you have to sort of dot your I's and cross your T's, do everything by the book in your day to day. Like, if there's a boss or something, like, you need to make sure that you're following the, whatever they want. But also, on the other hand, too, with the nodal axis being in the third house and the north node in the ninth house, it does feel like, I know you said information coming in and information going out. That's exactly what this would be. With the north node here, you might be instead of like shallow information, it would be more like you're digging deep into philosophies, or you're digging deep into education, or you're digging deep into new philosophies, maybe even like shakeups on how you felt before, and now it's almost like you have a different philosophy. And like, it's almost like you could be letting go of some of your skills to master other skills. And Mars retrograde in your 10th house. So, work may get frustrating. It might seem like you can't take action. So you're going to have to reevaluate how strategic you're being, where where your power is internally as far as work goes. So, like it does feel like it's a heavy work year, especially with Saturn in that sixth. It does feel like it pays off though, once, like in 2023, 2024, when Saturn moves out of that house for you. But I would say, anything, if you're really concentrated on work, that will pay off eventually. But I kind of like the love aspect for Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
It's about time, Virgo.
No, that's what I was thinking. It's about time. Yeah, dive in sometime on this.
Okay.
Yeah, love it. All right, wonderful. Okay, let's move on to Libras. Libras, what is going on with you for 2022? So I'm feeling like there's a lot of work to be done in February. You may feel as though you can't escape. You may have a lot of contracts. You may have a lot of orders if you own a business. You may be feeling like work, if you work for a company or whatever, you may feel like it's kind of weighing down on you and you can't get out. But it doesn't necessarily feel like it stays there the whole year. And for some of you, it's an opportunity to evaluate how much longer you want to do that. Is this even where I belong? And I think a big question for you is going to be, say you run your own business. You may be evaluating how you can use this opportunity to grow and expand. For those of you that are working under someone else, you may be looking at whether or not you want to use your degree, you want to start your own business, or you want to kind of get out from that routine. And it feels like those of you that are looking to do more healing, and even for those of you that aren't necessarily, it may be coming to the forefront the third month of the year. So that's March, where you're being expected to tap into your inner child, heal your inner child, communicate more for the sake of protecting your inner child, or communicate as your inner child. And so this is going to be an opportunity for you to, we could say in a lot of ways, protect yourself and give to yourself in ways that you've normally been too strict, too harsh, because you've been trained to do that. The fifth month, so we're talking May, going into June, or the second week of June for many of you, it feels to me like you're spending a lot of time in community. I see you at the barbecue. I see you talking to people. I see you just sort of sitting down, having a beer, and like doing nothing but communicating and allowing for the flow of energy between you and others. This isn't just about that. This is also about the exchange of information. So it's going to be an important time for you to remember that you are connected to other people and that this is a year for you to build with other people. If you stay too strictly on a routine, you're unavailable to do those types of things, opportunities will be lost. So make sure you're out there, out and about in town. What I feel going into October, so we're talking the 10th month, and this also goes a bit into November, is a rebuilding. So something may occur during the year that makes you feel like either the rug was swept out from under you. This could be a relationship, a circumstance, or even a financial status. It could feel as though something surprised you a bit. And when the rug gets pulled out, it doesn't mean that everything's over with. It just means that you have to rebuild. So during that time, I see you taking the bricks and you're laying down a new foundation. I also feel that while you're doing that, you're evaluating how it wasn't laid properly in the first place. Okay. So for some of you, possibly this can be avoided. If you are using your intuition, you're dotting your I's, you're crossing your T's, you're doing everything that spirit, that your higher mind is telling you you need to do. But if you don't make those changes, it's going to hit right around that time and you're not going to have a choice but to rebuild. Those changes are going to basically occur. So use your free will wisely. I feel you being able to, I almost want to say cleanse out a lot in the month of December, things that no longer serve you, feeling like you are regrouping and like you're in, even though there may be a lot of change going on, you're in a healthy state of mind, and you have a sense of inner peace. This could also be feeding a love partnership. So it's almost like I take better care of me. I can be more present with you. So we'll see what happens.
Interesting. Yeah, for Libra, the nodal eclipse area is the south node is in the second house. So you're reevaluating how you make money. You might be even getting rid of a way that you make money. Or maybe something that you valued is no longer valuable to you anymore. There is going to be a lot of contemplation around that. Venus does go retrograde in your fourth house. So this could be related to family of origin. Money with the house. Maybe you are thinking of getting rid of a property. Maybe it's, too expensive, or, you're rearranging money. Maybe you need to invest it somewhere else. The North Node does go into the eighth house. This would be a really good time to, go into more spiritual studies. I would say with Uranus there and the North Node there, this is a really good time to embrace that. I would say Saturn is still going to be in your fifth house of children and, romance. Not the best placement for that, not going to lie. It's usually a lot of hard work, and there's not usually a lot of fun going on when Saturn's there. So your fun could be squelched a little bit until Saturn moves out of that area of the chart. Mars is going to go retrograde in October in Gemini in your ninth house. So you could be thinking about taking action either on, your philosophies, or even going back to school and doing something with that. Okay.
All right. Do we want to take a quick bathroom break, or are we good to keep going?
I think I'm good.
Okay. I could do maybe one more. We're all going to take a tea and bathroom break. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's do Scorpios. What is going on with you in 2022? The first thing that I'm feeling for you is almost like you pulling in wealth, you pulling in money, you pulling in opportunity, you being more seen than what you previously had been. So this is like if you have social media accounts, if you're any kind of leadership, business ownership, speaking, communicating, even for those of you that are like at school, you may be having more speaking opportunities to be seen by like professors and things like this. So it's almost like you're pulling these opportunities in toward you, but I'm under the impression that once you get some of them, you may be looking more toward the third and the fourth month of the year and reevaluating whether you really want them anymore. And so this could be a cycle, bit of a system where you say, okay, I have this, now I got what I wanted. And how can I tweak this now to make it even more accurate for what is within my life purpose, my life contract? It's all about you feeling fulfilled this year. It's also about you being heard properly. So I see you working on your communication skills, and this is where we're getting more on like an intimate level with others. This is the 4th month all the way through the 7th, possibly even into the 8th month. Seems like you're working on how you communicate with other people that are important to you, and how you share, how you allow, almost like active listening, okay, for whatever it is that they're sharing or saying to you, to be received in a productive way. So you're trying to make sure that the time that you spend with other people is actually getting the relationship somewhere to higher ground, helping it to expand. You're letting go of some practices, old habits that don't work for you. Some of this has to do with ego and control, and some of it has to do with just understanding that some relationships aren't meant to be there forever, but they still have tremendous value for whatever they were. You seem to be offered again. I'm going into the 6th month, the 7th month, possibly for some of you, even the first 2 weeks of the 8th month, an opportunity. And this is coming less from you reaching and more from it just being given. You seem to be given an opportunity to make some pretty incredible change to your life. So whether we're talking about a relocation, a brand new career, a brand new job of some kind, some of you may also be looking at merging with a lover at that time. So we could be looking at engagement, marriage, things like this. I see you wanting to take it, but also having to get out of your comfort zone to do it. And then more toward the end of the year, I see you feeling very empowered. You feel very much like you have figured out some new tricks in being heard and communicating more properly. And you seem to have a really positive outlook for the upcoming year, meaning too that you're able to accurately evaluate where your prosperity is going. You can make accurate predictions now. It's not like, I hope this works out, I hope that works out. It's like, I know it will, because it already is. And this is the trajectory of that. So I feel good about that.
Yeah, so Scorpio is one of the signs that has been feeling the Saturn Uranus square. So they have really been, they've been shaken in the home and in their relationships. With the North Node moving into the relationship area, I do feel like committed partnership is on the table for some Scorpios. Maybe being so independent, so maybe letting some of that go and maybe merging with somebody else. And if this is not in marriage, it could be in business partnership as well. And the home thing, yeah, I think that there's a possibility of a new home dynamic for Scorpio this year. I feel like for some people, got to be careful if you don't want kids, because Jupiter is going to be in the 5th house. So you just have to be careful. If you want kids, that's great. This is good for having babies. If not, then, take precautions. And Jupiter will move into the 6th for part of the year from May to October, and then again in 2023. So I feel like the work area is going to be more blessed, where there'll be like more prosperity there. A better job. You might like the job better. It might pay better. Those things are on the forefront. I do feel Mars and Gemini retrograde in the 8th house. I do feel like you're finding your voice, especially in where you share intimacy or you share money with somebody, or maybe shadow work where you need to say something that hasn't been said. You're kind of thinking about how you're going to take action on that and how you are going, because Mars is your ruler. So when Mars goes retrograde, you become very strategic. And, that's October to January 2023. So kind of a long time. And you're learning the best way to deal with your mental stuff and how to deal with others so that you have more empowerment, which I feel like, like Ivy said, finding your voice, that's going to be really important.
Okay, wonderful.
Bathroom break?
Yeah, let's take a quick 2-minute tea and bathroom break. Also, you guys that are tuning in late, feel free to post your questions, your comments. Christina and I will be trying to get to all of them at the end. We'll see you back here in 2 seconds. That was fun. Are we ready to keep going? Am I muted? Unmuted? Where are we with things? I'm good? Okay, you're good. All right, so let's see. What are we on? Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius, what is going on with you in 2022? I feel like in January, you're supposed to be communicating a bit more. So make sure whether this is seeking out therapy, this is talking to a boss about something that isn't working, this is talking to your love partner about, some changes that need to be made, whatever the scenario is, it's important that you are speaking your truth and that you understand that you process things sometimes when you talk out loud. So it's not just about the other person. It's also about you figuring out more of what the situation really means. I feel you sort of unburdening yourself a bit during that time. Then the 4th month of the year, January, February, March, so that's April. We're talking about you looking at your money, you're trying to figure out if you have enough, you're getting ready to push yourself forward, possibly into a scenario that is uncharted territory, doing something new with career, work, money, investment, resources. You definitely want to have more or have different, but you're going to have to create it yourself. It isn't just going to fall into your lap. And so you're trying to figure out how exactly to do that. In the 7th month, so we're talking July, we're talking about some influence. from outside sources. This could be authority, bosses, parents, programming, society, government. This could be, banks and institutions. There seems to be some kind of pressure or information being put upon you that you want to reject. You want to say, no, I don't want to live that way, or this isn't what I wanted. And so you may find yourself in a little bit of a battle there, where you're having to set strict boundaries and you're having to figure out how to live independently and authentically. In the 6th month, which is June, again in the 9th, and then I'm feeling this more toward November, I see instances of love, romance, getting entangled with somebody else, and it feels to me like it's growing. So we could be looking at a love partnership this year that has I call them pivotal points. There are opportunities for you two to either come closer together or to go your separate ways. And so many of you will be watching at that time this relationship actually grow, and you may be willing to invest even more in it. More toward the end of the year, I see you having more of that profit that you wanted if you do everything that you're supposed to be doing between November and December, and looking at that profit, looking at those resources, and being able to make some plans for the changes that you want to see in your life, whether this be like residency, this be growing and expanding, and it feels like an exciting time.
So we have the nodal shift happening for Sagittarius in the 12th and the 6th houses. So it does feel like Sagittarius might start a new exercise routine, or they might start some new daily habits that are far different from what they had, but kind of valuing their health a little bit more, and letting go of some perhaps poor mental thought processes, some subconscious things that were self-sabotaging perhaps. And it looks like there's some karmic endings there as well. And Venus retrograde in the 2nd house is going to speak to money. I think that, in your value system, how are my values changing? Self-worth, do I have power in this area? Am I deriving my self-worth from something authentic, or is it just money? And it does feel very relationshipy to me. This might be where you decide to make a relationship more permanent. And there is also Mars retrograde in your relationship area. So it's almost like you're deciding how to move forward with a relationship, your actions in a relationship. That begins on October 30th. So whatever action you take, it does feel like it's sort of a long-term situation. We also have Jupiter going into the 4th house, and that's going to expand, the home area. So it could bring blessings to the home. Jupiter is going to take a dip into the 5th house as well. So, it is possible that, if you're down with baby making, this would be good for that. There are a couple signs that are favored for having babies, getting pregnant. And Sagittarius is one of them. I think that, and when it moves into the 5th house too, if you're looking for love, that is a great time. It will move into your 5th house May till October, and then it will be there again in 2023. So you'll kind of get a glimpse of what's to come. And with I think with Jupiter and Neptune in that 4th house, just beware of any kind of contracts that you're signing. Just make sure that you're checking the details on those. Like if you're selling a property or something, have somebody check it over, I think. Okay.
All right, very good. Sag, have a great year. Let's move on to Capricorns. What is going on with you in 2022? First 2 months of the year, you're shedding stuff, and it's almost like you have an internal battle. It seems like you're shedding overthinking, you're shedding bad habits where maybe you're overreaching with other people. You need to stay in your lane. You need to reevaluate what it means to be in healthy balance in your life. Not overthinking, not losing energy, not having sleepless nights, not overreaching in all of these areas where you've trained yourself or have been trained to believe that you have to, that you have no choice. So you seem to be you seem to be cutting some cords, let's say, all right, there. And it feels very freeing, especially the third month. So March, you're coming out and you're looking more like a butterfly, like you've earned some wings. You're past that sort of immature caterpillar or in pupa stage, and you're able to experience some heightened freedom from what you have before. This seems to be something you're rolling with. You're kind of really enjoying until about May, when someone seems to be coming in and testing those boundaries a little bit. So you may be attracting a potential love partner for those of you that are out there dating. For those of you that are in a love partnership already and it's established, or this could even be with, family dynamics. Possibly even work dynamics and things like that. I see your voice being limited a little bit, like from this person or this situation. It's kind of trying to squelch you, and you are going to have to decide at that time whether you want to have your wings clipped or not. Okay, so you may be getting cutthroat with bosses, situations, lovers, family, friends, anything you feel in your life is trying to sort of put you back into that caterpillar and pupa stage where you were more immature and out of control with this. So you seem to, if you do the right thing, choose to keep evolving and progressing, and there seems to be a big payout for that around October. It also looks like September is bright ideas coming to you. So I want to say that watch out for prophetic dreaming, watch out for psychic visions, watch out for mediumship kicking in during September, where you're having a lot of light bulbs turn on in your head and realizations about what you're supposed to do with your life and things that are to come. In October, it feels like you're kind of cruising along nicely, and you're able to receive some benefits, some breakthroughs and payouts that you have karmically earned if you have done so. And then later on in the year, it feels like you're able to rest and evaluate what's been happening in life for a while, not just this year, but back. Like you may even be looking back at the last 5 to 10 years or so, 5 to 8 years, 5 to 12 years, and saying, what does it mean? What do I want to do with that information? How much time do I have left, and what do I want to do with that time, making it meaningful for you? And I see somebody coming in around that time who is either a current love partner, or this feels like it could very well be a new love partner, who is really good at listening to you, is an active listener. You guys seem to have an energetic bond. It's almost like you're sharing telepathically. And so I see a supportive relationship going on potentially at that time as well.
Interesting. Okay. So I do feel like there's a lot of shakeups in relationships for Capricorn. It does feel like I do feel like a lot of Capricorns will have children this year. So if you are looking to have a child, this is a good time. Interesting. There is an eclipse in May that is very important for Capricorn. And I do feel like it is somewhat of a new beginning, a purge and a new beginning. This is also maybe letting go of certain groups you belong to or friendships as well. And maybe coming together with the love partner more, or maybe just kind of, when you have a child, you're not really with your friends anymore. So this could be a shift in that area. There's many ways that it could play out, but it does feel like there's very faded beginnings and endings here in the relationship zone and in the friendship zone. Now, Venus retrograde in your sign is major. So this is kind of going to kind of set the stage for what you want in, relationships. What do you value in relationships? Is the person that you are with bringing value to your relationship? Are they bringing, are they honoring you? Are they, contributing? Are they adding to your self-worth? These are all questions that you're going to be pondering, but it's especially important for Capricorn. Evaluation in love is very important. And there will be a change. When is it? March 4th. So I think that that is also what Ivy was referring to. Venus and Pluto meet. And I think that that is when a decision is made about, and I think Capricorn is also reevaluating their money and how they earn a living as well. So I think all these things might change right around March. And Jupiter and Neptune in the third. This does feel like, this could be spiritual communication. This could be downloads. You could, at this point, you could be learning a skill of some kind. You could be communicating on social media. It does feel like blessed energy. Siblings, cousins, neighbors. It's possible that, your sibling could be blessed. Mars retrograde is happening. So that is October. That's happening in your 6th house. So it does feel like you're rethinking your actions in your job or in your health, perhaps. You are rethinking of how you can do it better, how you can be more powerful in your day-to-day moments, in your work life. I think it's a pretty big year for Capricorn, to be honest.
Yeah. It feels like almost like renewal on remembering that you're alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember that you matter, All right, Capricorns, have a great year. 2 more. All right. Aquarius, what is going on with you in 2022? So I feel like in February, you're sort of taking off some blinders that may have been on in January, okay, and in 2021. If you've been, it almost reminds me of the horses that have the blinders on their eyes so that they don't panic, so that they don't have a reaction. They just stick to what they need to know. And I feel that coming off. I feel you celebrating in February, feeling a little bit more free, having more motion, and it almost looks like you're dancing, but it seems to be a little bit short-lived in that you want to almost quickly get down to work on what's really important. And so it's like you're taking a deep breath, you're regrouping, and you're figuring out how to proceed forward. It looks like for the next 6 to 7 months, and I do see a breakthrough with this around the 7th month, which would be July. It looks almost like anything that wasn't working for you in 2021, you're able to finally get your hands dirty. You're finally able to get your hands on the situation and dictate to create more of that outcome that you want to see. It feels like you're getting your hands on resources. You're possibly leveling up with your work, with your career. It also looks like you're being heard and seen more. So those of you, especially that are like in leadership, you do public speaking, you have, social media, business ownership, whatever it is. You may find, especially around July, that's also taking off for you and it's becoming easier. You do seem to have someone there in a position of authority. I want to say the 4th, the 5th, it looks like maybe even the 6th and the 7th month, where there could be almost like an oppression going on. So this is banks and institutions. This is like, government systems. This is bosses. This could also be someone you've shared resources with. You could be feeling like someone else is sort of stagnating your growth, but that seems to be easing up around the 8th month. And it's like the last part of the year, you're feeling more independent, like you're standing on your own 2 feet for the first time, either ever for some of you. And for some of you, it's like for the first time in a really long time. I feel like very independently, I'm doing well with myself and my resources and my wealth and my plans. And that's not to say necessarily that like you're getting divorced or you're, becoming 100% self-employed or anything. It's just like that mentality is very much there. And for others, that may be a choice that you make. And I feel good about that.
Okay. So the nodal shift is happening in the 4th and 10th house. So you might be leaving behind a certain part of your reputation, something in your career, perhaps. There might be a new cycle happening there. But what you are moving towards is new foundations, new home. It's very possible that I think that Aquarians could buy a new home this year. It's possible that, there could be a new cycle in the family of some kind. This is like moving towards how you value your family, what's important, what's not. Any toxicity within the family would need to be, kind of dealt with, and you could no longer engage in that anymore. With Saturn, Aquarius, has had it rough because Saturn is in their sign. Anytime Saturn's in your sign, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's a lot of work. And, Saturn is there to make you adult, basically. And, Aquarians have been adulting for the past year, and they're going to be, continuing that for about another year. And, they have had a lot of shakeups in the home. They have had a lot of shakeups on, their person, their individuality, how they are seen. So this is kind of the year to focus on, how you make money, how you communicate, and even your thought process perhaps needs to change. Venus is going retrograde in your 12th house. So this is going to be more subconscious. So, for those Aquarians who are conscious, I think that this is going to be a lot easier, but for the unconscious Aquarians, this might be a little tougher because it's like you can't put your finger on it, but you have to look at the value of your thoughts. You have to look at the endings in relationships that are happening. You have to look at your self-worth and what ideas you have behind your self-worth that are no longer serving you. And, you have to kind of get rid of that. Mars is going retrograde in your area of children and in your area of romance. So it's almost like you're reevaluating your actions in romance, or you're reevaluating how you give love, how you communicate with your children. What are your actions? How can they be more strategic? How can they be more meaningful actions? So, not gonna lie, Aquarius has had it, they've had a lot. I don't think it's going to be as severe. I think it's definitely more positive, 2022. But just know that like Saturn in your sign means you're doing hard work, but it will pay off. So 2023, 2024, you'll start feeling the blessings.
All right. So lots of work to do there. But good opportunities. Aquarius, have a great year. Last but not least, Pisces, what is coming up for you in 2022? So the first 4 to 5 months seem to be all about you getting out of cycles. This is going to be a lot of the universe showing you what you can do. Spirit coming in and making a lot of suggestions. You may feel like your dreams are very wild, vivid, prophetic, mediumship being activated, psychic ability being activated, those around you being used as the mouthpiece for God. So people saying things to you that are huge clues, or even watching people around you live the life that you should be living. And it's going to be a bit of a wake up, a shake up, calling you, beckoning you to move forward into those areas. You seem to be a little bit stubborn and stuck in your ways, almost like you're deliberately not looking at that. And you're really incredibly focused, having in the box thinking. It almost reminds me of someone playing a Rubik's Cube, how you're just like you're looking at what's right in front of you. You're not looking at the bigger picture. And so that could be a bit of a battle. However, when you do start to pay attention and you start to make those changes, the prosperity will be there and things will fall into place quite quickly. So you might see a lot of synchronicities, and a really great inner peace, even a vibrancy coming to your life. Now, there seems to be mention, I know Christina said that some of the signs have a high likelihood of like pregnancy this year. I'm feeling that more the third month of the year. So we could be looking at family expansion. You could be looking at marriage. You could be looking at bringing in a child. or even adoption. For some of you, it feels like the third, the fourth, the fifth month of the year. You could even be looking at like launching your own business. So this could end up being like your baby, your big project. More toward June for many of you, and some of you even like the first 2 weeks of July. I feel that there could be some residency change. It feels like good change, a positive change. It also kind of feels forced, like it had to happen. So not to say it's unexpected, but it could feel as though it happens kind of with a push behind it or quickly. And I think that the 8th month of the year, it's almost like you're playing puzzles. You're playing, you're waiting on pieces of the puzzle to come to you, for doors of opportunity to open, for truths to be revealed. You're asking a lot of questions. This could be about others, waiting to see true colors, making sure, double checking that you're understanding people right. This could also be about you looking at situations like work, in your life, and trying to make sure that you clearly understand what it is that you're dealing with. I do feel like you're going to be getting that clarity. And it feels like you're going to be able the following month to move forward and make some decisions. It's like, okay, now you have all the pieces of the game. Okay. And until then, you couldn't make a really informed move in the right direction. You seem to be in October and November letting go of someone who has been an influence in your life. This could be a situation. This could be a relationship that you no longer want to deal with. And you feel empowered to say, I can just leave the party and I don't ever have to explain where I went or where I'm going or why I went. Okay. Like I'm out. And I think that that's really going to pay off for you, especially the last week of the month, and then going into the following year, where you seem to be lighter, and the flow of positive energy and prosperity coming from the universe, the synchronicities seem to be there more than they were in the beginning, okay, of 2022.
Yeah, for Pisces has both of their rulers coming together in a rare conjunction. So this could be a very spiritual moment for Pisces. It does feel prosperous. Always be careful of deception. But it is around April 12th. They could be really very psychic. They could be listening to their intuition. It's almost like, too, with Jupiter in your sign, you get healing, get blessings, and people see you in a new light, or people see more of you. I would definitely be careful of, and no type of gambling or, taking chances that are not calculated chances. And then Jupiter does move into your second house in May through October, and then again in 2023. And I think that that's going to boost your income. I think that's going to be nice for you. So enjoy that. And the nodal shift is happening for you in your 3rd and 9th house. So the North Node is in the 3rd. So it's possible that you could be moving to a new neighborhood. Mars is also retrograde in that 4th house of yours in October. So, it's almost like you're taking action in the home area so that you can have more of a voice somehow. And, it seems like wherever you do move, it does seem to be the right move for you, like a new neighborhood, new friends in the neighborhood, even like new people to communicate with. It does feel like you are leaving behind old philosophies, maybe even a legal matter, but, you could be finishing school. It could be something, it could just be that you are changing your philosophies, but there will be, significant actions around the eclipses in those areas. And Venus retrograde is in your 11th house. So Venus is always relationships, but it's almost like you're reevaluating your relationships around your friends. So how is your relationship with your friends, and how is your personal relationship going with your friendships? So it's almost like, is your groups accepting your relationship, and how's that working out? How's that dynamic going? So you're kind of reevaluating, does this person fit into my friends? Do my friends fit in with me and this person? It's kind of like you're sort of reevaluating and thinking, well, do I need new friends, or are these friends worthy of me? All right, Pisces, have a good year.
Love it. Yeah, that is definitely what I'm feeling for them. And I think that's it. It's funny that we're ending on Pisces on that note, because I was just going to say to you, Christina, so if you had a general message for everybody, what would it be? And we can get into that in a second. I want to see if we have any, questions or comments here that we need to take. But I would say that what Pisces is going through, I almost feel is it would be part of my general message for everybody. We'll end on that note here in a minute. Paul, did we have any questions or comments?
No question, but a lot of thank yous over both YouTube and TikTok. Everyone's very grateful for the show. It's amazing to see the timing of people too, when they log in like right before their sign, or the time it right. Or on YouTube, it's great because they can go back if they missed it, and then catch back up with everyone else. So they were very thankful, and a lot of good news this year.
Very good. All right. It's like you guys are psychic or something. All right. Tune in right when you were supposed to. And yes, again, this will be published, so you guys can go back and, watch it afterward. So and you guys are welcome. So last messages, I would say, Christina, what would your, guidance, or what should everybody be watching for this year?
I would say pay attention to that Venus retrograde really kind of sets the stage for the year. So I would say definitely pay attention to your relationships, your values, your self-worth, your money, your material items, and your relationship with all those things. Because, the North Node is, and Venus are connected. And the shakeups, the eclipses are looking for change in those areas. So I think that, we are becoming brand new. And, this is a process, like we said in the beginning. And I think that we have to start embracing our new selves this year.
All right. Fire. So I was going to say, this feels like a year where we have many opportunities coming to us, and this is everybody, but it's going to be so important that you're willing to break free. And I think this is going to be a time of evaluating what we feed, holding ourselves more accountable than we ever have, because we have to remember that opportunities don't just come like a lottery aspect. You don't necessarily just get it. You have to use your free will, and you have to be within good karma. You have to evaluate this year whether you're feeding toxic jobs. You shouldn't be staying there. Are you sort of being, self-abusive in some ways? You're not honoring your life contract or what you need. Are you supporting and keeping around negative company, toxic people? I don't care if it is family. Are you allowing for those relationships to be supported by you entertaining them? You're going to be tested in all of this, and the opportunities that you might be able to take advantage of could be lost if you're not making the right decisions. So I want to say to everybody, if I were to say one thing for 2022, is be critical about where you put your time, attention, and energy. What you feed is what you're going to be getting more of. And let's look at ways that we can really evolve into lifestyles that we've wanted, and be brave enough to step out and take it. All right. Well, Christina, it was such a pleasure as always.
As always, it was so much fun.
Okay, I'll see you back here soon for church Sunday service. We have Roots Revival Interfaith with myself, Reverend Christina DelRey, Reverend Danny Johnson, numerologist. That's at 8 p.m. here on YouTube at Ask Ivy, TikTok at Ask Ivy. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great year coming up. Thank you, Polly. Have a good night.